Hi everyone, it's Dr. Raj. So on today's show, I talked about addictive behaviors and I want to specifically talk about the word addiction. You know, in the DSM or the Diagnostic Skills Manual, the version 5 now that we have in the world of psychiatry, we don't actually use the word addiction. You know, historically, there were substance related or substance abuse and substance dependent problems or substance dependence problems, but there was a substance. And now, you know, many things are emerging, such as some behaviors. For example, getting into relationships that can be very frustrating. And there's almost an addictive quality to, say, you know, addiction to frustration. Now, you're not going to find any research articles that use the word addiction and frustration together, or addiction and shopping. But in the, you know, kind of general population, we know that people can have behaviors like working 80 hours a week and avoiding certain, you know, anxieties or certain conversations. And we know that people can, say, for example, shop when they're feeling somewhat down. And this can become compulsive, all right, a compulsive behavior. Now, you're not going to see shopping addiction in the DSM-5, right? But nonetheless, we know that some people have a very serious problem with this. Another example would be people who, for example, have a lot of issues with electronic gadgets, right? And they're constantly checking their email and Facebook status and this and that. And it has this addictive quality to it. But one of the common things that we have to understand is that many of our behaviors and these quote unquote soft addictions, that as I'm referring to them, help us manage our anxiety. So you know, shopping can help you manage your anxiety. Working too much can help you manage your anxiety. Constantly checking your email manages, or for the moment anyways, manages your anxiety. So there are many addictive behaviors, and that was really the focus of the show. So then the question, of course, becomes, well, what is it that I'm avoiding by participating in such, you know, behaviors, activities? What is it that I'm exactly avoiding? And this goes back to, of course, our story. And we have to be very careful that, you know, we look for the source, and not just, you know, say, oh, well, I have a lot of anxiety and I need to neutralize it. That can actually lead to then real substance problems, abuse, and dependence patterns. So somebody might be feeling very anxious and they may have a drink, and then of course they're going to feel less anxious. So we have to be very careful with this. And my bottom line in all of this is that behaviors and choices have addictive aspects to them. And a lot of it goes back to managing anxieties. And we have to go and remember to remind ourselves that we are not powerless, but actually powerful. And that we are very powerful, and that we can choose to change our behaviors. But first, we must understand our behaviors. You know, you're not going to go start working and taking a cylinder out of an engine without understanding how the whole thing was built in the first place. So, you know, I can tell you, stop that behavior. It's not so easy, right? We have to understand what is, first of all, feeding that behavior. So, more to come on this topic, much more to come actually. This is Dr. Raj saying I'm looking forward to that day. Thank you. Bye-bye.